What's up, everyone? GM is Lizer Katir, Jean Doe, Cold Nebulous, Sakalane. Are you ready for Sunday, Sakalane? Zeta, Genfall, NDR, Tenet. What's up? What's up? Should I play one song? Best StarAtlas song, in my opinion. GM.
It it really is, and it makes me think about so many good emotions every time I listen to that song. I love that song.
Yes. I remember when we played it at Breakpoint. Do you remember when I think it was, we played like a little trailer. It was in Amsterdam, I believe. We played a little trailer and there was that song in there. I almost shed a tear. Had to hold it back.
I do remember that.
Yes. Yes. GMs to everyone out there. Let me turn on my camera. Dom, do you have your camera or is it just me?
I can get it on. You cried like a newborn baby, Santi? I mean, I do remember. I do remember that breakpoint in that video specifically. I mean, we had a bunch of team members there, and there was so much progress that happened that year, and that song, all that. It was a good moment.
I was close to crying.
Close.
If I shed a tear, I will cry like a baby for sure.
He said close, but he means he did.
Yes. Was also after a very rough period. That's also true. That's also true. Santi has grown up. Did I? Probably 10 years. In the almost 5 years I've been working here. People are asking when Holo Sim. Should we jump into that, Dominic Bain?
What was the question?
When Holo Sim?
My camera. Oh, when Holo Sim? Oh man, Holo Sim season 1, chapter 1, ladies and gentlemen, everybody,
Today.
listen up, everybody, listen up. Holo Sim season 1, chapter 1, $5,000 in USDC rewards, $30,000 in Star Atlas asset rewards. Man, I mean, people people were grinding the hell out of season 0, and there wasn't even anything that came out of that. I mean, you guys did get a badge though. To be fair, you guys did get that badge, which was cool. It's not delayed. It's not delayed. It's just coming out later today. The team is still working on it. Don't worry, the team is still working on it. But man, dude, I'm unbelievably excited. Unbelievably excited for today.
Same, man. Same. So
I don't know
Holo
why
Sim
they did that
me-
countdown. That's a good question, but I don't know.
Yes, the countdown was done. Yeah, having the brew time in mind, but some little things came. You know how this works. So no need to panic. It should still happen today, just a little later. Just a little later. We're asking for updates as we speak right now, but the team is working on it. Last time I checked with the Holo Sim team, they were on the final steps for releasing. But you know how it goes. You know how it goes. Do I have time to make food? Esco says. I don't know. It could very well be 5 minutes, or it could be a little bit more. We'll definitely keep you posted as we hear more from the team. But it should still happen today. Good time to get the coordination going as well, right, Dominic Vane? There's a lot happening behind the scenes. I'm in some groups. I won't say details, but I'm in some groups. I would only say that Oni is getting ready.
Dude, there is a crap ton of coordination happening in the back end. Yeah,
Yes.
coordination's going for weeks. Yeah, Laranor. Yeah. Seen you out there. LOL,
Yeah.
Oni getting ready. Is that shots from Mud? What faction is winning? What faction is winning this chapter?
It's easy. It will be Oni.
It's so easy. It's so easy. It's so simple. So simple.
Easy.
It's
Yes.
gonna be really fun.
Only have 3 players, Pichi says.
Why did Oni not show up last time? I mean, we're gonna see the cold hard facts. I'll see you guys in 5 weeks. We'll see who wins.
Yes. But yeah, we'll keep you posted on Holo Sim timing. Chatting with the team right now. I just got a ping. Let's say what it says. Testing right now. They're testing right now. I'll ask for an ETA for you guys. We'll ask right now. Live. Doing it live. But yeah, it should happen soon. Shouldn't be later than today, so should be good.
What is
Should be
this?
good, my friends.
If you want to play with cool guys and win, pick Ooster. If you want to play with cool guys and almost win, pick Mud. If you want to send gifts and chat about your glory, join Oni. What's the lore here?
Wow.
Bro? What's the lore here? Jeez. Nah, bro. Oni's gonna win. No ETA,
Yes.
please. No. Yeah. It'll be ready when it's ready. Don't worry.
Yeah. We'll give hopefully some time in advance, but as soon as we have news, we'll let you know. But yeah, Dominic Vane, I just came back home from Europe. We had some meetups, and I wanted to share a gift that I got given to me.
Oh, look at this. That. Yeah.
Look at this necklace. Look at this necklace I got. Beautiful, 3D printed. I think Lucky is out there in the chat. So Lucky gave it to me. Lucky EV gave it to me. His nice. Daughter, actually. So thank you for that one. Wearing it. I'll keep wearing it for almost all the events that we have. I love it. Also, we had a meetup in Valencia, so I bought a Valencia shirt. Let's go, Valencia. Have to support the team.
Nice.
And then also another gift that I got is from Skull and Bones. So you see this? It's pretty cool. Also 3D printed.
That is super sick.
But it is for jewelry.
Oh my god!
It is for jewelry.
I actually didn't even know that.
Yeah. Laser cut. It's laser cut, actually, not printed. True, laser cut. Thank you, Crack.
Gamble
But
said
yeah,
very profitable to be on tour. You be on tour, you get gifts.
yeah, I get gifts. They keep my fuel going, They keep me going. But yeah, this one I don't have any jewelry to put on, so I may go to Pirate Life and try to get some treasures out there. So yeah, thank you everyone for the necklace. Yeah, actually, for the gifts. Yeah, actually, the necklace I'll put it there. But this one I'm wearing. But yeah, thanks for all the gifts out there. And on that note, on Saturday there's the Cologne meetup happening. Is there anyone in the chat that is going to Cologne, to Germany, for the Comet meetup during Gamescom? That one is going to be full. I heard they have more than 100 people registered already. It's completely full. They had to close registrations. Microbyte is going, Shadex is going, Quidar is going, Funcracker. Yes. We want to see some videos and pictures from it. Please. Please. So yeah. What else do we have, Dominic Bain? What else do we have to cover today? I saw Chris say, "Did you bring me Gypsy King?" No, Chris, I didn't bring any Gypsy King. We should organize a trip just to go to Gypsy King again, Chris. But yeah, another big one, Dominic Bain, is the town hall next Wednesday.
Yes, town hall. Last town hall of Star Atlas Summer. Next Wednesday, town hall part 3. Part 3.
Town hall part 3. Marcus interested.
Let me did we make the event? Let me link that.
We did. I'm pretty sure we did. Yes.
Yeah. Go mark interested, everybody. See you guys for town hall part 3 next Wednesday. 1 more week, 7 more days. How could I possibly tune into the town hall when I'm busy smashing Mud and Oni and Holo Sim? Everybody's talking crazy. We're gonna have to see.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to see who actually wins.
Lots of talking out here. You have to show it on the turf,
Speaking of talking about it and showing on the turf, Iris Quest, Santi. Dude, oh my god. Talk to me about Iris Quest, Santi. I'm so excited
Iris
for
Quest.
that.
First of all, I want to give a shout out to all the organizers for Iris Quest. So Brujo, Darkboy, Daenerys, Morango, Neo Armstrong. I'm sure I will miss Grimgor. I think is also part of it. I'm sure I'm missing names, but lots of coordination going on, and the finals are happening on Sunday. So Sunday, live at the Atlas Amphitheater, we'll have the Iris Quest tournament, casted by Neo Armstrong and Morango here up on stage for the tournament. There's actually 14 teams that have registered for Iris Quest. I saw some more trying to join. But 14 teams, fully community-driven and organized. And there's even prizes that the community projects are providing to the tournament. So this is the ecosystem at its finest. Community members organizing a tournament, other community projects sponsoring it, community members playing, people from outside the StarAtlas community also playing it. It's just, we love to see it. So we will also be supporting from the Automata side as well. And we'll be playing, Dominic Bain. We'll be playing.
We will be destroying as well. A Dyson Sphere, baby. We didn't have to play in the qualifiers for this one.
Yeah. The 2 finalists got auto-qualified for the finals. So for Sunday. All the other teams have to play beforehand. And they will also be live streaming for the Cologne meetup. So there will be matches that will happen live during the Gamescom meetup. So that's also super epic. But yeah, Iris Quest happening on Sunday, Dominic Bain. We are going to try to win it. We got placed second, very close second last time. But this time the Dyson Sphere is locked in. We've been practicing. We'll try to win it. Get ready. Oh, they have the raffle for the teams happened already for the qualifiers. I'm guessing this is Neon Army Alpha against Rome, Chimera Bravo
Okay.
against Vanguard, Agron
Okay.
Squad against Neutrons, United Macedonian Gamers against Afia, Vanguard Bravo against Tokenized 360, and Solana Gaming against Chimera Alpha. Wow. Spicy.
Dude,
Spicy.
it's gonna be so good. It's gonna be so good. I'm really looking
Yes.
forward to it.
Yes.
I pity Solana Gaming. Yeah, they have to play against the Hackmer, unfortunately. GG.
Yes, Solana Gaming has to play against. Oh my god, yeah, we lost against Chimera Alpha last time. So Solana Gaming, it's about to get real sweaty for you, my friends. Let me tell you that. Mm-hmm. Solana Gaming has to log in. They have to log in. But yeah. What else, Dominic Bain, my friend? Oh well, one of our community content creators has launched a new episode for their series. So Raspy's Rundown. New episode is out now. You guys can go check it out. Dominic Bain just posted it in the chat. So the Raspy's Rundown is back with episode 2. It's great to stay on top of the news of Star Atlas, guys. So make sure to go check it out. Dominic Bain just posted the link in the chat. Swagner, welcome to the
Swag.
stage.
Yo, what did I miss?
Is this, bro?
Oh,
Look at that bad boy.
sick.
Look at that bad boy.
That
Shout
is
out to
super
Star
cool.
Blocks. Star Blocks. I loved it. It was so good.
Yes.
Trademark infringement
cool.
lawsuit inbound, but super cool.
Nah.
No way, bro.
Nah.
Totally joking. I did just commission Enigma 42 on a C11. Fully painted out.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's actually a gift for someone else, so I won't have it, but I'll probably get another one. But yeah, pretty stoked on it. But
thank you for the gift,
X-Force.
Swag. Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
You get
you
my
got it for
company,
me, right?
Santiago. You got the pleasure of being able to have calls with me multiple times per day and week.
Just
What else could
amazing.
you ask for, man? What else could you ask for?
So yeah, I think we covered all the noteworthy news, unless there's anything else from you, Swag, or Dom, before we move to the main topic.
I think everybody here wants to talk about Zinc. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's
171.
talk about Zinc.
171.
Yeah,
that's
people want to know
that's a
about
pretty big
Zinc,
audience,
Swag.
right? You sure? It's
People want
because
to
I'm
know
here,
about
I think. I think it's because I'm on.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. We also need Brett on stage. So, Brett, my friend, if you can raise your hands. There we go.
I don't even need to raise my hand. I can just do it.
Nice. Powers, welcome to the stage, my friend.
Thank you. Excited.
Chris says the econ forum gets 250. Is that true? I'm not sure if I believe him.
It's like 350 from what I've seen, to be honest.
Yeah. If you adjust by inflation, yes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Brett, we're second class citizens here, man. It's all about the econ, I guess.
Yeah. Some people like money for some reason. It's weird.
So yeah, we have prepared. Oh yeah, Dom. There's one more thing that we wanted to talk about before, which is the Star Atlas Summer and some of the stats that we have from it.
Oh yeah. So StarAtlas Summer, guys, StarAtlas Summer has been. I mean, it's only been a few weeks here, but everything's going really well. I know you guys are particularly interested in kind of marketing front, how that's going, because you guys like boring stats, but a lot of things happening. We've already had. I'll kind of just link this tweet so we can kind of get into everything. But if you guys want to check out some stats on like what's going on, we're tracking obviously impressions, obviously engagements with everything. Obviously, we have our new website homepage. We've gotten a lot of emails signed up already, which has been great. And then we're also tracking our weekly visitors to Discord. So you guys can go check out that tweet if you guys want to. If you guys want to stay up to date on kind of what's going on, how this campaign is performing. But everything is going super well so far, guys. If you guys are interested in that marketing and stats front, but I'm ready. I'm ready for Zinc.
Man, that last one point with the emails, 1,100 emails, crazy.
I could actually, I don't know, I could maybe even give an updated number here in just a second. But
Dude, 1,100 emails in 5 days collected from the new website. Guys,
Oh, it's
that's
huge.
a lot. That's a lot.
Shout out to our new marketing manager. He's been killing it.
Yeah, it's been doing great.
Get some W's in the chat.
Yeah, W's in the chat for Dominic Bain, guys. Come on.
Thanks, guys.
Come
I
on.
love you. I love you guys.
Dragon Father, oh no.
We've had 1,400 now. 1,400 now.
Wow.
Dang. I was like, in 2 days later now.
Yeah, 2 days later,
post that?
1,400 now.
Nice.
I think it was 2 days ago, yeah.
It's moving. The marketing machine.
Love you guys. All right, let's talk about Zinc. Zinc.
Yeah. Let's go. Let's go. So we have some questions that we got from the chat. We'll also be trying to take some live questions. There's some heavy hitters in here, for sure. So, Swag, Brett, are you guys ready?
Let's do it.
Okay.
Give the old college try.
First question. How is adding a new token not considered dilution for Atlas and Polis, but rather valuable?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I did address this a little bit on the town hall. I guess first and foremost, it's kind of the opposite. This is the way that we were able to not dilute Atlas and Polis by launching Zinc. I will preface and say that Zinc is really a replacement for your network transaction fee. It's a replacement for Sol. So it's not even that we're adding a fourth token, we're really replacing one. Now, of course, we have this bridge that will be operating back and forth between Solana. We'll still have some of our ecosystem infrastructure on Solana, like the StarAtlas DAO, the lockers, the Galactic Marketplace. We certainly want to continue supporting all of the kind of capital market infrastructure, the DEXs, the aggregators, the AMMs, the LPs. So you'll still be interfacing with Solana. You still will need Sol for any of those transactions. But as it relates specifically to game systems, where we can make the biggest impact is by shifting those over to Zinc and using this network token. I think one of the key figures I highlighted is that the expectation is that we will reduce your total operating cost in the form of transaction fees by likely greater than 99%. Now that is purely a function and result of the market cap, the expected market cap of this Zinc network token relative to Solana. Solana has an $80 billion market cap. If the Solana price continues going up, your fees in terms of units of Solana that you spend remain fixed. And so your dollar operating costs increase if the Solana price goes up. Now, we wouldn't expect an $80 billion market cap out of Zinc when it launches, although that would be excellent. That would be excellent for us. That would be excellent for all of you guys because you're all earning this token in the airdrop simply as a result of doing the things that you already do. Playing Sage, playing Holo Sim, competing in matches in Unreal Engine, having tokens staked in the lockers. There's some other mechanics that we want to mix in there as well. But you're going to be earning a portion of this 10% airdrop. And so, any upside there is to your benefit. It's actually additional value that we're distributing out, and our players are in a very great position to be able to capture some of that value. You guys do all of the things that are included in the XP earning mechanics, which determine ultimately your allocation of that airdrop. Now, in terms like what we did sacrifice is we sacrificed an opportunity to integrate Atlas and Polis into the tokenomics of this new network, right? And that was a strategic decision that we feel we really had to make. There's two parts to this. On one side, the ultimate goal here is to have Zinc be a fully open access, permissionless, and decentralized network in the future. What I didn't want to do is launch a either an L2 that was fully centralized with some roll up into Solana, or build a network that is exclusive to StarAtlas. A network that's exclusive to StarAtlas has less appeal to a wider audience. Unless you're a StarAtlas fan, why would you do anything on Zinc if it's just exclusively a StarAtlas chain? Well, in order for us to achieve genuine decentralization, more things need to be able to build on there, more reasons for people to participate in the network, and that includes, all of the applications that you see on any L1 today. That includes things like DeFi and DePIN and marketplaces and NFT launches and probably meme coins too. All of these things that kind of organically can start to build out on Zinc over time as the network opens up. But a key component here is, in order to achieve decentralization, you will need incentive capital, right? And so if we want to incentivize validators, that means we have to pay them, we have to subsidize them being a validator so that we can achieve decentralization. Well, what do we pay them with? If we used Atlas and Polis, we would have to pull from the token supply of Atlas or Polis. That means less game rewards. That means lower rewards in the DAO if we were to use Polis. That would be one option. That means you all now have a lower opportunity to earn Atlas and Polis because we're using it for some other purpose, which is achieving decentralization. The alternative is we could mint more Atlas and Polis, and this is where it really directly addresses the question of, is this dilutive or not? Well, if we were to mint more Atlas and Polis, that is directly dilutive. You all now have a smaller proportional share of the total allocation because we decided to mint more tokens, which we are then using to incentivize both network growth and decentralization. So validators is one side, and how we incentivize them is one. But if we also want Zinc to flourish, we want to bring more teams onto this network. We want other projects. We'll have a specific emphasis on other fully on-chain Web3 games, because that is where we genuinely specialize and shine. And we've built all of this internal infrastructure that allows us to run our game systems on-chain that we can also make available to some of these other teams. Well, part of that process, that business development and partnership track that we will need to pursue, again, you very likely need incentives. You need a reason to bring someone over. Why would they build on Zinc and not build on, say, Solana mainnet? And so it's not that we're even necessarily trying to be competitive with Solana. We want to be complementary, but we want to build out a value proposition on Zinc and incentivize growth and adoption. So the entire rationale that went into we're launching this Zinc token was to be non-dilutive, but at the compromise of we're not going to be able to tie Atlas and Polis tokenomics into it. One final piece here, and I think this is actually exceptionally critical, is that if we were using Atlas and Polis, and once again, you're really only going to attract people to the ecosystem that are interested in Atlas and Polis. With Zinc, we kind of have a new opportunity. We have this airdrop campaign, which is another piece of incentivization, I might add, that can genuinely attract people to simply participate in the airdrop. Now, there are pros and cons to that. There are certainly people that just farm airdrops and dump tokens. However, we have that gated behind these specific mechanics that I outlined, which is you have to engage in StarAtlas. And so what we're able to do is create an attention economy around Zinc token, the airdrop, and the TGE. And for those people that are interested in getting access to an allocation of this new pool of capital, this Zinc airdrop allocation, well, now they're funneled directly into StarAtlas products. So all of this is intended to be synergistic across StarAtlas and Zinc to drive user acquisition, to drive engagement, to drive attention, and bring more people into StarAtlas. And the belief is that if we can simply coerce people, not the best word to use, but if we can coerce people into trying StarAtlas products to earn this airdrop, we will have user acquisition as a result, because we have a lot of confidence in what we've built and what's coming in the future. So that was an extended answer for this, but again, all of the internal strategy was about how do we not harm the existing tokenomics and not harm Atlas and Polis through some form of dilution, but actually create a new pool of capital that we can use to incentivize growth, decentralization, and user acquisition.
Good answer in my opinion. All right. I mean, you can't ever say that we don't ask spicy questions up here, but moving on to the next question here for you, Swag. But is Automata not losing focus by doing Zinc?
It's not really losing focus. I guess first and foremost, this was something that really rose out of necessity. There's a lot of feedback. I'll say negative feedback, not necessarily about us, but about the situation and circumstances on Solana, particularly at the start of the year. This was like December last year, going into Q1 this year. I think it was pump fun, meme coin craze. But what we saw was an increase in traffic on Solana that led to congestion, and then the congestion led to priority fees spiking significantly. In some cases, network transaction fees were consuming. The numbers I've heard that we've analyzed are upwards of 30% of gross revenues of players. That's a tax. It's 30% of your income that you are paying because we were running on Solana. Now, the other consequence of that is that it raised the floor on the minimum portfolio size necessary to be able to operate profitably in Sage. Because fees, the transaction fees, are relative transaction. We're validators on the network. Some of those problems are things that we'll be in a better position to solve for because we're operating the network. But we're also in this advantageous position in that with StarAtlas or Automata team being a DAO, and the StarAtlas DAO, validator, and StarAtlas DAO being a validator, we're now capturing network inflation subsidy, and we're picking up transaction fee revenue. And that ties all the way back into the Atlas Locker addendum that we released the document on back in March. And within that document, there was a proposal to have the StarAtlas DAO subsidize transaction fees. Now, in that scenario, in the legacy scenario, the DAO would have to convert some of its earnings, which are predominantly Atlas, so sell Atlas, buy Sol, and then subsidize user accounts to reduce those operating costs. Well, in this case, the DAO and Automata are both directly earning Zinc, your network transaction fee currency. And so it's in a much better position to be able to subsidize off of earnings without having to liquidate some of its other assets that it holds or that it receives in cash flows. So again, I think all of these things are largely beneficial to the end user, and the fact that we now have a greater degree of control over the network and income sources off of it lets us improve your experience.
Mm-hmm. Very true. Very true. And Michael, people also asked, we mentioned December, right? So people want to know what comes exactly in December.
Yeah, and Brett's been sitting here. I do want to give him an opportunity to jump in and respond to some of this, but the general idea, and you guys know this is all the development's always tentative, right? So we're not. I won't say we have any confirmation whatsoever on executing on this, but this is our target and this is our goal right now, is to have a network genesis event. So mainnet Zinc is running. The token generation event happens at that time. The conclusion of the airdrop happens at that time, and so any of the allocation of Zinc will be distributed out to users. A bridge between Zinc and Solana will be operational, and we start shifting all of our on-chain game systems. So Starbase will continue to run on Solana, but as we release Sage C4, Sage C4 PTR is going to be running on a testnet version of Zinc, and then ultimately C4 mainnet will be running on Zinc mainnet. So those are the things that, like C4 aside, those are the events that are happening, and really the key thing is that game systems start shifting over to Zinc. Brett, anything I missed there that you want to cover?
No, I've just seen a few questions about like how we won't end up like Solana if we're just public. We have a few strategies, won't go into them. There's nothing as like arrogant as saying, oh yeah, we know blockchain's better than Solana, but there's things that we can do that Solana just can't because of the way we position ourselves versus the way that Solana's positioned. So there's a lot of opportunities there to make sure that we don't end up just being Solana 2, right? And same exact issues.
I mean, again, if we did, it's really net positive for all of us. That's kind of the best outcome, is that we end up as successful as Solana. You're all here, at the risk of sounding shilly, you are all here ground level, right? First access to this upon the announcement, and again, very well positioned to capture value from the airdrop because you're already participating in all of the XP earning mechanics. So that would actually be a good outcome, with the exception of, okay, now we have to solve for congestion issues and transaction fees. But I kind of addressed that. We have a way to offset that because the DAO and Automata both have allocations. We're earning from the network. We're collecting these fees and we're collecting inflation. So if that was the outcome, I would be actually very happy with it. I think we'd certainly be able to determine how best to maintain a high quality user experience for StarAtlas users.
Moving on to something that I've seen a bunch of questions about is the bridge itself. So moving on to kind of you, Brett, here. But for the bridge, how is that bridge going to work? How much will bridging cost? Is it more than a transaction cost, for example? We'll start there, but there's a few more after that.
Yeah, so we can start at the cost bit. We haven't nailed down the final costs. We have basically a proof of concept bridge that is free to users. We're paying the fees to actually do the transactions. In the final version, there's going to be a small fee. We just haven't nailed down the exact amount, but it's mostly going to be to cover our costs on that to make it not just a drain, right? So somebody can't just keep constantly bridging and draining our banks. It will be more than a transaction cost, but the interaction form, like we've gone with one of the far more secure bridge architectures where instead of like you talking to a server saying, hey, send these tokens for me and all of that, you do it through the blockchain. So you say, hey, I do a transaction on the blockchain and that initiates the bridge transaction. So everything is far more decentralized than like the normal bridging aspect where like, hey, I send my money to this wallet and I just trust that they're going to do it. It's going the architecture is much more designed around decentralizability, although it will be running in a more centralized aspect at the beginning, but we're going to run many of these servers that are basically agreeing to send tokens across. I don't want to go too into detail on the actual security aspects there, but that's generally how it's going to work.
Okay. Another spicy one that we've been getting a bit. I'm not sure if you have the exact specifics to this one, but how's crew gonna work? Will it have to be done one by one, or will you be able to batch it? What are you thinking there?
Yeah, so it's going to have the same kind of the same methods of working as the port of entry does now. So generally, like, yeah, there may be you have to sign a bunch of transactions to get the crew over. That's kind of inherent to the way CNFTs work. That if your wallet owns them, your wallet needs to sign to send them somewhere. We're not going to have direct bridging of CNFTs just because CNFT infrastructure isn't there yet. But what we will have is basically direct input into Sage with your crew. If you already have your crew in current Sage, then moving is going to be a lot easier. I'll say that. We won't go into detail about the full transfer system, but transferring from Sage to on Solana mainnet to Zinc mainnet is going to be much easier. If you're just getting crew though, it's going to be very similar to the current crew architecture, and that's just inherent to CNFTs.
Yep.
I know I said we weren't going to tell people about that transfer mechanism. It would be a good leak, but I don't know. Not sure if we want to do that or not.
He was about to leak it, then changed his mind halfway through that
sentence. Real time pondering.
Oh, did I say that out loud? My bad.
Okay. There's another question about the bridge, specifically about the tokens. So how will the tokens work with the bridge?
Yeah, so the bridge is a two-way bridge. So tokens that are minted on Zinc or minted on Solana can bridge to the other side. It'll basically have a derived mint on the opposite side, or there's a few other options where we can have like the same mint on both sides, mint ID on both sides, but may not want to do that just for indexing purposes. But it'll basically have a derived mint on the other side. So you put it's basically a bridge where you put money into the bridge program, and the bridge program then mints tokens on the other side. You put those tokens back in, the bridge program releases it on the original side, right? So that's standard bridge stuff, all controlled by a decentralized program there. The centralized part is the communication between the chains, and then with our architecture that we're doing, it's a more common one now is that it will eventually be decentralizable, where we can run like the bridge basically on the validators, and then the validators become the bridge themselves, and it will be at that point as decentralized as the blockchain itself. So, but initially we're just going to run it on our own systems, and it'll be just transferring tokens from one side to the other. You'll have derived versions on the other side.
Another big one here is, will we have a security audit, Brett?
Yeah, so security is always a top concern for the company. Like that's what we hold in the highest regard. Like we run as many security checks as we can on everything. Like, knock on wood, Sage has not had any major issues. We've had minor issues, but the Swiss cheese model of put so many barriers in place that the holes have to line up. We've gotten through holes, but it always hit one other barrier. So we're doing a very similar thing and similar design for the bridge itself. We're going to do things like limiting it to Star Atlas assets only at the beginning. To we're not going to have like billions of dollars coming across this bridge, right? So we're gonna limit it there. We're and I've already covered, like, we can decentralize this eventually. Like, it's designed to be decentralized, and like, users are not directly talking to the bridge program. There's separation there where they are talking to the blockchain, and then the blockchain responds, right? And then the bridge program responds to the blockchain. So there's not like, oh, we're gonna like SQL inject this. You can't even talk to the server, right? So entire classes of bugs are there. So we're gonna hold it to the same high regard as we do everything else we do.
Nice. Another one, I think, I don't know if this one is more for Brett or for you, Michael, but will Zinc have a DEX where we can trade?
Probably not. With that, well, I don't want to commit to that. I will say we're going to be undertaking partnership and business development efforts as we go through the tail end of the year here. I would like to land some partners for various kind of market structure partners. That's things like having a DEX or having an AMM and LPs. To some extent, it's not super valuable because there won't be a lot of tokens trading on the network. Like, most likely, it's only going to be Atlas, Polis, and Zinc trading on the network at inception, with the possibility of maybe having some USDC bridged over, but kind of uncertain where we'll be with that. So, whether there's a DEX or not may or may not even be all that valuable. But what I think is valuable is being able to promote the fact that we are landing partners for these types of services early on, communicating that there's interest in building on this network. That's what I think is more valuable than the actual functionality of the service at inception. I will maybe mention that I'm quite happy that we've actually landed a wallet partner for Zinc. It was one of the big outstanding questions that we had. Obviously, you need a way to be able to transact on the network. Now, we could either build the wallet or we can have a wallet partner. Us having to build it is more of a draw on resources. And so we do have a great wallet partner in place for this that you'll be able to use to transact on Zinc. I think there was one other thing I wanted to cover. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
I've got it. It came back to me. Is what I think is really, really cool about Zinc is that there is kind of this land grab opportunity. I think there's a real opportunity for first movers, and the simple fact that we are using a vanilla implementation of the SVM, which Brett can actually go into more detail on, but it's effectively fully compatible and composable with Solana. Means that it should be quite easy for existing Star Atlas projects to recreate and redeploy their program and their services on Zinc as well. And so what we can present in these partnership conversations is, here's an opportunity to be the first DEX, or to be the first aggregator, or to be the first lending pool, all of these DeFi services that are ultimately valuable to users. And so we want to present that as the value proposition. Again, we can subsidize it. 65% of the token supply is, and these are still kind of loose numbers. I don't see them changing dramatically. They might shift a little bit, but we've allocated 65% of the token supply to airdrops, to partnerships, and to grants. And so that's part of this incentive pool that we can now pull from. Once again, we would have to use Atlas and Polis to do that before. Now we get to do it with Zinc, to recruit new people to this chain, and they can establish themselves. And because the network is permissioned at the start, we can also give people a kind of an exclusivity period. You can be the first DEX, and we won't onboard another DEX for 1 year. So we think there's a really big opportunity there, and I think that's going to help a lot with bringing teams over to Zinc and establishing, building out this more robust ecosystem.
Maybe going back to
cool.
Yeah, Maybe going back to you here, Brett, for the people in the audience who might be interested or just might be interested in themselves or other people doing it, but how does deploying a program on Zinc work? How will that work?
Yeah, so we are going to restrict program deployment. So basically by doing it is, hey, you need to have permission to deploy this to deploy programs onto the chain. That's just to prevent kind of the initial wave of spam programs that kind of exist and that can kind of destroy the network and stuff like that, especially while the network is very cheap to do at the beginning. So, but there's going to be ways that you can talk through with us, get something deployed. Like we're not going to be stingy about this. Like it's not, hey, if you've got a legitimate thing that you're trying to do, great, we'll totally help you out there. But otherwise, it's going to be relatively like you can't just be a random person just deploying your new meme coin program that happens to also use megabytes of memory every time someone does an interaction, right? We're just not we're not there yet where that cost is high enough that it prevents everyone doing that through cost. So yeah, but you'll be able to deploy stuff if you've got legitimate purposes here.
Nice. And yeah, for the community projects out there, we'll have a plan to onboard you guys if you want to deploy programs on Zinc.
Santi, I might deviate from the agenda just a little bit here because I see somebody posted the TPS table that was in the presentation. So it's there's an image here posted by SOS Pilot, and it's the top chains versus Zinc. So just for clarity, what we are demonstrating in that table is the actual live current TPS and a projection with some estimates of user growth. This uses all historical data. Chris pulled this together using 2024 data going into 2025. Excuse me, actually this table is the current. So this is like current day at the time that it was pulled together. What I think is impressive here is StarAtlas game systems with about 2,100 daily active users. Now that's across all of our programs, any program interaction. We know that Sage itself has about 1,000 daily active users, and that's probably 95% of where the StarAtlas originated transactions come from. But you can see it's almost 20 live transactions per second right now. We do more transactions than a lot of L1s and a lot of L2s. Ethereum and Avalanche are the notables on that table. Now, with even a modest amount of growth in the StarAtlas user base, assuming you can extrapolate the same amount of transactions out and apply that to a higher user base, it puts us in top 10 of blockchains just from the metric of how many actual transactions are taking place. This does not speak to transaction throughput. Brett, correct me if I'm wrong here, but again, using SVM, our theoretical maximum throughput is equivalent to what you can achieve on Solana.
It's pretty much the exact, like, it's not just SVM. We're using like a fork of the Solana code base with very minor changes to specific areas that are not even consensus related. So it's literally what Solana can do, we can do.
Yeah. So that's theoretical maximum throughput. What we're showcasing here is actual network activity. And that is just one metric that people use to benchmark things like, what is the intrinsic value of the network? Are people doing things on it? And I made a post. Actually, I think it might have been the Zinc account or the StarAtlas account made a post that, because of this synergy between StarAtlas and Zinc, they mutually benefit from one another. StarAtlas from the airdrop and driving users down into products, and Zinc by bootstrapping it with StarAtlas. We solve this cold start problem. There are empty networks out there. There are empty L1s that launch that are trying to get projects to build on them. And, they have a more difficult time than us because we get to start with game systems that already produce a significant amount of transactions. And so just as a demonstration of activity on the network, it's a really good starting point for us. And that's the type of representative metric that will help attract more people to the network as well. People want to build where people are at, like projects want to know that users are on a network, and users won't come unless there's projects on the network. That's the whole cold start problem that we really have a great opportunity to overcome here because we're bootstrapping with StarAtlas game systems.
Nice. Good explanation, Swag. Okay. Going back to the agenda, there's a question here about validators.
Mhm.
And it was a common question out there. So how can someone become a validator for Zinc?
Yeah, I have to be a little bit conservative on this. There is a capital requirement to becoming a validator. This is also, it's more of a curated experience. There's going to be an exclusive set of validators. So the short answer is there's no public way to become a validator on Zinc right now. We are having conversations with a handful of potential partners, and we're structuring these through licensing deals. So they purchase a license to be a validator. And then that comes with all of these other contingencies on how it works for them and how they capture value. But there's no public way right now, and we're only working with people that we know have expertise in operating a validator on Solana right now. We want that expertise, and it's going to be a very tight group as we control the rollout and launch of Zinc.
Nice. That leads to another question, maybe a bit spicy, but what is the path to decentralization for Zinc? For example, what happens if ever in the future Automata runs out of funds, for example?
Yeah, I mean, that's a scenario I don't really ever see playing out. I think that there's a position for Automata, regardless of any variety of different scenarios that can play out. I guess obviously it wouldn't be good if that ever did occur. If that potentiality came about. We're driving Star Atlas development. We're driving Zinc development. We're kind of the hand holders and curators of how these things evolve. With all of that said, there's still the possibility, because these are decentralized networks, that they can persist onward without us. Like in the case of Star Atlas, for example, if if Automata wasn't around, we could still facilitate a transfer of the Star Atlas IP into the DAO, and then the DAO becomes the owner of that IP and could ultimately seek solutions for how to fund future development. I mean, that again, not a scenario I want to see, but it's a possibility, or it's an option if it ever went that way. And then likewise with Zinc, you just turn around and say, okay, we're no longer gating any of the decentralization process. It opens up to any validators, and then anybody can deploy programs on there. And then the network would have to find its own place and drive its own value. So I guess the point is there are backup options. None of these would be optimal. I mean, the best thing is to, this may sound selfish, but the best thing for really all of us is for Automata to succeed, do well, and continue being in the position that we are to build these things out that we've envisioned.
Of course.
Okay, spicy one. Moving on. How will the marketplaces work exactly? Things like local marketplaces on Zinc, or also the main ones? I guess this is a question for maybe you, Brett.
Yeah. So we'll have local marketplaces on Zinc with C4. So the local markets will all be there, including CSS markets, which will now not be just pointing at the Galactic market. They'll be local CSS markets for your faction, especially with combat involved. So the Galactic Marketplace will still exist. It's going to be on Solana mainnet, at least at first. Of course, we're planning to eventually move everything over, but it's just going to take time. But the Galactic Marketplace will be on Solana mainnet, and you can bridge over to it if you want to trade over there. But if you want to do all your trading, you can do all your trading on the Zinc markets if you want. So it'll you'll be able to go to CSS, trade there, probably with the amount of sectors being added and everything. The local markets are going to be much more important. We'll also be able to do like direct asset sales at specific markets and everything. That'll be opened up as well, so we can start selling ships at locations rather than just in the Galactic Marketplace. All of that. So a lot more opportunities there as well.
Nice. Then another one for you, Michael, I guess. It's about the subscription tiers and benefits. If you can go over them again, just for clarification purposes.
The premium subscription tiers. Yeah, we currently have it outlined with 3 different tiers: $10 a month, $20 a month, $30 a month. What we want to do is drive immense value into those subscription tiers. It is the core monetization stream from Zinc itself. Now, I kind of covered a few of those again on the town hall, but things like the .ink premium on-chain naming service that you can we'll probably do some type of auction service around that eventually. Of course, our inflation and fee capture by being a validator, but really the core monetization stream from Zinc is through this premium subscription service. And the idea is to layer in incredible amounts of benefits. The analogy I use is Amazon Prime. This probably is most applicable to our US users, but most people I know have an Amazon Prime subscription because you get the benefits when you buy stuff from Amazon.com. But then they layer in like audiobook benefits, and you get Prime TV, and there's like a bunch of things that are included in it where it makes a ton of sense to pay for the service because of all the benefits you get. That's kind of the philosophy with these premium subscription tiers. Now, the core benefit across all 3 of them, at least at inception, is this XP multiplier concept. And so the tiers are Zinc Alpha, and then Aura, and then Apex is the top tier. You get anywhere from a 1.25x multiplier on your XP all the way up to a 2x multiplier. And so, you might say to yourself, like, what do I get if I pay $30 a month? Well, if it doubles the amount of XP and theoretically doubles the amount of Zinc airdrop allocation that you get as a result, you have to make the determination if you think $30 a month is worth doubling your airdrop allocation. But as you get into the Aura and Apex tiers, then you're getting access to Zinc premium on-chain naming service for free. So instead of going out and buying Swagner.ink, I'll be an Apex subscriber, and so then I get allocated to me Swagner.ink as part of that service, and I get to use that name as long as I'm paying for the subscription. And then beyond that, and Star Atlas is really demonstrating this as a proof of concept, but it's leveraging Zinc as a platform to be as a marketing and distribution platform for things like airdrops. And so again, those higher tiers, you're getting access to Star Atlas game cosmetics, in some cases Star Atlas assets, and other items of value that can be distributed out that you earn along this progression curve. So one of the core unique selling points of Zinc is this digital identity layer with a gamified avatar and profile. And as you're leveling up your profile, some of that applies to what is effectively a battle pass in the subscription tiers, and then you're getting access to these airdrops as a result. So again, what we're trying to do is encourage activity and participation and engagement on the network. And if you find value in all of the underlying items, the way that you earn those items is by progressing your Zinc profile. And the way you progress your Zinc profile is by playing Star Atlas game products right now, or buying Atlas and Polis and locking it in the lockers. And then finally, just kind of the extension of that is how we utilize the platform for various partner projects in the future. And partner projects can be anything. We want a specific emphasis on bringing at least one other fully on-chain Web3 game into Zinc. Again, we think that there's a lot of expertise that we can provide to those builders in the infrastructure that we've built. And so try to bring another Web3 game in, and then perhaps include them or some assets in that same Battle Pass concept along with the subscription tiers. And while they could independently facilitate an airdrop to users, what we have the advantage of is being able to really pre-qualify users based on the identity piece. I hesitate to bring it up, but the optional KYC, I know that's a bit of a contentious issue. We do want it to be optional. The fact that it's zero knowledge when it gets built out means that we're taking all of the steps that we possibly can to ensure your data is protected and private and not shared publicly. That's the zero knowledge piece. But what your profile can respond with is some type of binary response of yes or no that KYC was completed. And so I'm going into the pre-qualifications, but one of those might be if the KYC was optionally completed. One of those might be your level, your Zinc profile level. We only want people that are level 20 and beyond, because then we know that that is not just a brand new account that was created to farm whatever the benefits or incentives were. And then we can even go one step further and analyze their on-chain activity and say that these are people that engage with Star Atlas or a different Web3 game. And so now you have a very targeted user profile that you can market directly to, and Zinc can facilitate that. And so we include some of their items in the Zinc subscription service as part of our Battle Pass. And excuse me, we have those pre-qualified users. This is a great marketing activation for those teams. We're doing it ourselves with Star Atlas assets. And the net benefit, though, is that core revenue stream of recurring subscription payments, that all flows into Zinc and continues to help with funding.
Okay. Another question we are getting a lot is about the airdrop, the actual airdrop campaign. So people are asking when the airdrop campaign starts, when does the actual airdrop happen, and then a specific question about the airdrop that we're getting is what programs in Star Atlas count historic activity. So what is there any historical activity that actually contributes towards your airdrop allocation?
I'll just say these are all tentative dates. As you guys know, things are subject to change, but the current target, our goal is to have XP, or excuse me, your Zinc profile registration, I guess I would call it, but that's just creating a profile with a signature, an on-chain signature on z.ink, and then that establishes your profile, and then the airdrop campaign kicks off. So that's where XP tracking, all of the mechanics that we've outlined, that's when XP tracking goes live. That's we're targeting September. The airdrop, if things go to plan, will run for 3 months, and then we get into December. And in December is the Genesis event, the token generation event, airdrop distributions, and game logic shifting over from Star Atlas to run on Zinc. That's the general timeline. We'll see how things work out. In terms of historic activity, we're really not tracking any. Now we might, the community team here, Santi and Dom, are certainly advocating for you guys in providing OGs with some extra value, which I'm supportive of. What I'm sensitive to, though, is the entire purpose of this airdrop is to attract new people into the ecosystem, into the Zinc ecosystem, and de facto into the Star Atlas ecosystem. Now, if we overweight all of this historical activity, let's say even the 2 years that Sage has been running, and we count those transactions towards your XP, well, first of all, you're immediately going to be massively leveled up, and second of all, you're going to capture 99% of the value of the airdrop, which sounds great for you as an individual, but the downside is it fails to accomplish our goal of actually bringing new people in, because it's a strong disincentive to anyone else if they know that everything that's happened in the past that they were never a part of is directly counted towards this. So what we're looking at is primarily everything starts from scratch. When we activate the XP tracking mechanisms, it's your activity from that point forward, nothing historical. I will emphasize, again, you guys are all in a very great position because you're already doing all of these things. And someone that's new to Zinc that is interested in this airdrop will have to learn how to engage in Sage and Holo Sim and play Unreal Engine, and they'll have to go out and buy Atlas and Polis, which again is actually really good for the Star Atlas ecosystem, given the weight that we're applying to locker balances. This should be a driver of market demand for Atlas and Polis to lock up so that they can earn that XP as well. But it's important to me that we make sure it's still a largely fair distribution mechanic. So we're looking at how, what do you get going forward? Now, that's not to say we won't do anything for the OGs, but you all have also been benefiting from participation in the economy and different airdrops that we've done over time, and things like the Golden Carnival and current Sage account level and XP that you've been accruing that's going to pre-level your account when we launch C4. So there's a lot of benefits you guys have already gotten for the airdrop. I want it to be pretty fair.
Mm-hmm.
which makes sense. Everything you're saying makes sense. One of the things that we've been discussing, and now nothing is finalized, but we've been discussing maybe some kind of perk for having the battle tested role from the people who were with us down in the in the trenches, in the fiery battle. We're talking through things. No promises, of course, but that is what we've been talking about for some cool
we
stuff,
want to
right?
reward OGs for sure.
By the way, I will reveal this that I don't think we've shared, and it's that one direct benefit that we can offer to the legacy Star Atlas users is a guaranteed free .ink premium domain. So if you funcracker.ink, if that's something you're interested in, we know you've been supported forever. We can allocate that that domain to you, and that can be grandfathered in and guaranteed for life. So it's a small thing, it's a cosmetic thing, but it is value that we can deliver to our OGs.
Nice. Funcracker says, "I am, but we'll get that Apex Battle Pass anyways." Love that.
I think everybody should be getting an Apex Battle Pass. That's the way we designed it. I know I'm signing up for it, but yeah, I think there's going to be an incredible amount of value in that subscription service. I'm laughing at Earther right now. He's calling the King Brian.ink.
Man. So yeah, we have one last question on the agenda, and actually also from Funcracker, which is about fleet position and on-chain info, plus validators and nodes. It's a bit of a technical one, so Brett, this one is probably for you. But he says, we've known for a while now that in order to be able to hide fleet position and movement in StarAtlas, we very likely need some kind of service that runs alongside the blockchain. We, a few committee members, already imagined that perhaps we will need to run nodes at home, such as Gala or Miria, essentially forming a lightweight, decentralized secondary network on top of the Solana chain. Now that we're moving to Zinc, I cannot help but wonder if this could solve the issue, or at least make it easier to do so. Has the team given any consideration to the impact this could have on that particular issue?
Yeah, so this is one of the areas that we found a lot of advantages in having our own network, is kind of being able to add these custom software extensions to the validator network that allow us to do things that just were impossible on a generalized network, right? So if we add in a bit of software that says, hey, we want to be able to talk to a secure compute environment, and now we're requiring our exclusive set of validators to have secure compute enabled CPUs, which is basically every modern CPU. As long as it's not a potato, you're probably fine. But we can have that requirement that Solana can't have because half the validators don't meet that requirement, right? So we can add in these things and then add in, oh yeah, there's this little piece of software you need to run that allows this section of code to run in a secure compute environment, and then that results in a lot of the hidden movement type of thing. So there's things like that are there. There's also like more complex calculations, like if we're trying to run a full-on triangulation of a planet on chain, right? It's actually really fast to run that. It's just really slow to run that in a VM that is the Solana VM, right? So if we write some native code, every validator is running this native code as an extension there that can be run. Oh, suddenly we can have like full-on planetary triangulation and stuff, like cool, very cool aspects that are like fully on-chain, very like complex gaming algorithms, right? So just some other cool bits of lore that we can run in.
Nice. Okay, we covered everything. We're a couple minutes over here, so I don't know if you want to.
I'll cover just one more, Santi, and I think probably wind it down. There was a question that came in from Signal. He said, spicy question, is Zinc better than just going Web 2 with a real money marketplace, on-chain store for players, for automata, for adoption and growth? It's maybe better just to have a buttery smooth hosting at the cost of hardware and electricity, and barrier to entry goes to zero, especially if we're dropping decentralization for improved cost and performance. There's a bit more in there, but no, I don't think it's better to go Web 2. This was actually one of the reasons why we launched Zinc with the intention to decentralize over time. And granted, yes, we are going into a more centralized version, but with that same philosophy that we've always approached development with, which is getting to a fully decentralized state. This is one of the reasons why we didn't go with a Magic Blocks or Sonic SVM, which are great products. But as we discussed those products, these really are centralized L2 solutions that just roll up to Solana. That's not our vision. What we're trying to build is a cyber nation. We're not just trying to build a video game. Like, we want a really great open world space adventure MMO experience, but we're trying to build a digital society here to complement that. And my belief is that the only way we truly achieve that over time is by having all of these operate on fully decentralized systems. Like, I actually don't want Automata to have all of the control. We're the central point of failure right now. And so the deeper we can get into a fully decentralized state, the more censorship resistant the entire concept of Star Atlas is. And so that's always been our goal. That's the North Star. That's what we continue to move forward with. I would go so far as to say I would shut Star Atlas and Automata down before I just pivot us into a pure Web 2 play. And that's an aggressive response to that question. But no, I don't. Even if it's the simpler path, it's JFK, right? We do these things not because they are easy, but because they are hard. And yeah.
Our version of that is we do these things not because they are easy, but because we thought they would be easy.
Well, okay. I don't know if we probably underestimated just how difficult they would be. I think that's fair to say. But no, that's the goal. That's the dream. Get to this fully decentralized state. The Star Atlas DAO owns the IP, and then this whole digital society runs with or without Automata being around, and so that's what we'll continue working towards.
Yes, great explanation. Okay, we covered a lot. We covered a lot of ground. I think most of the questions that came in from last Town Hall Plus throughout the week at the Zinc channel were mostly covered. So, as always, we'll keep replying to questions in the Zinc chat. Michael is pretty active in there, Brett as well. So if you guys have questions to steal after this brew, you can go there and ask them. But also, we'll probably, this is already recorded by StarAtlasTV. We'll drop a link for people. We'll probably post a little announcement with it. And we can also create an AI summary of this brew where you can ask questions directly to the AI and get the answers from the content that we shared here. So we'll probably do that as well. But we covered a lot. So... Michael, Brett, anything else before we close here?
No, just looking forward to it. Everybody's going to love it. It's going to be so fast. It's going to be so much better to play the game on Zinc.
Yeah, well, on that point, by the way, again, something that was mentioned at the town hall, but for anyone who has been playing Holo Sim open beta, that's been running on a Zinc testnet cluster. One more thing I'll reiterate here is that this is not just something brand new that we just came up with. I mean, we've been working on this over the course of the year, but realistically, this is the culmination of probably 2 to 3 years worth of work. Player profile primitive that came out in 2022. That's the foundation of the digital identity piece. And you all know AtlasNet has been running. I think it's 2 years, Brett. I think you said like 1.5 years, so maybe I misspoke, but AtlasNet has been operational for at least 1.5 years to 2 years now. And we were using that as an internal infrastructure tool to test our deployments, program deployments, before going to Solana mainnet. Also to obfuscate those program deployments away from all of you blockchain sleuths that are out there that analyze every single thing that we do before it's ready to be public. But point is, we've had a lot of effort, capital investment, team resources put into this. And so now we're in a pretty good position to be able to move forward with converting this into a public accessible network. But I think that's it. I will close just with one final point on the Solana side, and that I want to emphasize that we really see this as being complementary, not competitive. We're not trying to abandon Solana We're not trying to say we don't like Solana. We're using SVM for a reason. We have a lot of confidence in the tech. We're still going to be running programs on Solana. There's still going to be a bridge. And so, this is about how do we optimize our own user experience and solve very real problems that you all are facing, and then turn it into something that achieves our long-term goal of decentralization.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, even Anatoly commented on that, Michael, with quite positive comment on X.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Okay, one last thing before we close, unrelated to Zinc, is that you guys should tune in to a couple events that are upcoming. First one on Sunday, you can go see the Dyson Sphere crush everyone at the Ares Quest tournament. So mark us interested there. So you can catch the stream. Just drop the link in the chat. Make sure to mark us interested. Sunday is the tournament. 14 teams are competing for eternal glory in there. And also next week, we have the last town hall of StarAtlas Summer, Town Hall Part 3. So mark us interested for that one as well. No spoilers, just don't miss it.
Hey, I have a spicy question to close with.
Yep.
Chip said he's been playing. He wants to apply to be a member of the Dyson Sphere. I'm curious, put it out the public vote. I'm the anchor on the team. I'm holding everyone back, on the bottom of the frags. Should we sub out Chip for me, or do you think the community wants?
No.
No.
What the heck?
Come
For
on.
you? Dude, I'll go out. I'll be
Yeah.
a caster. We'll bring Chip in.
Yeah, Chip
Sub
actually
Chip for
has
James? That's not happening, dude.
We can rotate. But I think Chip is not available on Sunday, unfortunately. Already talked. He received the formal invitation to join the Dyson Sphere. He will be on the next one, probably. So, yeah.
Nice. Okay.
Everyone's here to watch
Cheat codes activated.
He's just going to up the number of players.
Yeah. So, okay. We covered everything. Thanks, everyone, for joining. Actually, getting like 190 people is quite amazing. So I appreciate everyone that joined. Hopefully we replied to most of the questions out there. I would say we didn't shy away from spicy ones. For sure, we hit every single one of them. So yeah, I appreciate everyone that joined, and we're all waiting for Holo Sim for sure. We'll keep you guys posted. I think the team is doing the final checks on what's going on with Holo Sim. In the meantime, we can play some shooter games if you guys want. So we can wait for Holo Sim together. But we'll definitely do an announcement a couple minutes before we go live. So
I think I might have an update on Holo Sim, actually. Hold on. I'm going to stream it real quick.
I think John said he wanted to release late, so it'd be really late for Europe and really early in the morning for Asia, so that we could have a nice.
Nah, get this guy banned. No, L in the chat.
L's in the chat.
Yeah, first time someone gets the L's in the chat.
No way, I'm getting the
first time ever.
L. The debut L.
First time ever someone gets the L's.
You found who you need to replace.
Oh my gosh.
Chipto in, Dominic out. So yeah, guys, stay tuned. We'll definitely announce before we go live. Team is working through everything right now. So okay. Working hard. Yes. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. We'll post an announcement with the AI summary and questions that you can ask, plus the recording in case anyone missed the first part. So see you on Sunday for the tournament and on Wednesday for the last town hall of the StarAtlas Summer. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone.